Right. Right. Jiggy Tooblack. We're going to do jiggy number 2. I have stumbled across another subtle statement by one of the most, in my opinion, one of the most useless and corrupt, inefficient policy enforcing fraternity on the land so far. And I say that with all honesty because I've dealt with, 1 second, there's a plane going over. Yeah, it's gone now. I've dealt with various policy enforcers. I've dealt with City of London. I've dealt with Metropolitan, even the police in Birmingham. In fact, they put me in for 3 days in a glass cell, you see. And I did nothing about it because they were professional and I was up to some mischief anyway, so I deserved it in a way, but the way they dealt with me wasn't as, I'd say, ignorant as what you get with these West Yorkshire characters. So I'm lucky today I've come across another one of these statements, so-called so this one is long. I'm just gonna go in and see what this one talks about. I won't go too much into it. I've just seen a few interesting bits. Right. The point of the matter is this, that because of what these people have done, the fact that they've abused their position for various years, and what I won't go into the details of exactly what they're doing in there, but I know what they're doing in there. They know what they're doing in there. So I'm gonna just go through one of these statements quickly, so you can see what this is all about. So this one is somebody called, you can see it. I don't have to say their name, because I've met these people face to face, and I've dealt with them face to face. So I can't even say their names. Yeah, talk about scum. Here we go. Right. So I wish I could do the hick accent, but I can't. I'm a police enforcer. This is a sergeant, remember? So this is not the one that drives the van. This is the new Hitler Youth who is, this is the, like I said, this is the one who's supposed to be the smart one. So this is the one behind the desk. The one who you're going to be brought to once you've been picked up by the van. All right? So I joined the force. Understand what a force is. It's there to force you to do something you don't want to do. So I joined the policy and forces on whatever it was. I even got a promotion. So this one's been there for a pretty long time. So I expect that she's going to know a little bit, modicum of the law. My first stint in this role was from January 2002 until 2005. My first stint. Yeah. Okay, we are bad people. We've been watching too much TVs. We want to be police and chase the thieves down the street. Right. I returned to this role in 2008 and worked as a custody sergeant ever since. So since 2008, for a very long time, this silly girl has been staring at a computer and working off templates. And somehow, I believe she's lost her intelligence. I'm not going to break down everything else. I just highlighted a few of the funny beats. Blah, blah, blah. Here we go. Right, so this is where this ridiculous woman arrested me. Or not she, somebody else put me in there. This is one of the various false, unlawful, wrongful arrests that have not been accounted for till today. And we're still asking questions and there are no answers. So this is one of those false arrests, right? So here we go. During this process, I have seen the claimant in person for the first time, having no memory of seeing him during my very brief involvement with his case. I recall the claimant acting in a very strange manner, and remember that he began to engage me in an argument over whether he was actually on bail or not. It's not an argument. I'm either on bail or I'm not on bail. I'm saying to you, I'm not on bail. Check your computer. This stupid little boy has come to my house, right? Forced me to a van and brought me over here. And I'm saying to you, I'm not on bail. Check your stupid computers. I'm not, it's not a matter of argument. The client denied that he had been bailed and was protesting that he had been unlawfully arrested. Exactly. I have replied to the claimant that he was bailed with a single condition on 29th of April and he was supposed to return 25th of September. Must be out of your mind. Yeah, good luck. Right, the claimant continued to deny he was on bail. Right, for anyone who doesn't know about bail, for you, a living man, to be on bail, right, you must be a holder of a document as per the Bails Act of, I believe, 1975, if they haven't repealed it or amended it. You have to be a holder of a bail document. That is why they always hand you, sign here and take it. You become a holder of a bail document, or they're going to slide it over the desk. So you take it and become holder of it. It's maritime law. Bail is salvage, a bailor. We won't get into maritime law right now, but for you to be on bail, you have the arrest has to be lawful to begin with. Okay? And then you have to accept bail, that you're going to return to their place of business under some conditions. All right? So if the initial arrest is unlawful, there are no bail conditions. Okay? So you either know the law or you don't know the law. As a legal officer, who's a sergeant, who's had several promotions, has been in the force since the 2000s. Man, anyway, let's carry on. Right, the claimant continued to deny that he was on bail. I pointed out, you don't need to point out, we have to produce evidence that somebody's on bail. I pointed out to the claimant that PC 7077 Martin had granted him bail on the last occasion and that he was in the custody suite, which I have recorded at 12. Oh, it's the middle of the night there. Is that midnight? I don't know. On page 21 of the custody report. So that's a good one. That's a good one to do with bail. And bail is nonsense. In any case, there is no, it's not a matter of argument that you engage a custody sergeant in. If you're ever arrested for breach of bail, your first question is, oh, excuse me, I think you have the wrong guy, the man, the wrong person. Please show me evidence that I am on bail to begin with. You fool. And then once you decide that there is no bail document, then you move on to the next one. Then I recall the claimant asking me if I was acting under oath. Okay? He also made various other remarks and questions to me during the process, such as references to the Magna Carta and the common law. And the common law that this claimant was talking about is the common law of the land known as England and Wales, which you, as a policy enforcing constable, have taken an oath to preserve and to uphold. It's called the common law of the land. Now, this is a custody sergeant who's had the training since how long? Let me get... See a little girl. Oh, Chapman. Joined the force in 92. Oh my Jesus, 92. She joined the force in 1992 and became a sergeant in 2001. Okay? And she's never read anything to do with the law here. So he made references to do with the common law and the Magna Carta, because obviously, you're not sure or you don't know that by law someone has to be arrested lawfully for him to be placed on bail. That's by law. And if you breach that, then this someone is going to ask you whether or not you're acting according to the law, according to your oath, you see. And if you don't know that, and then somebody says, I don't believe you're acting according to your oath, and I don't believe that your intent is to preserve the common law of the land, I think you're abusing your position. It's a breach of the Bill of Rights, it's a breach of the Magna Carta, it's a breach of a whole bunch of laws, it's a breach of statutes, it's a breach of Article 5 of the Human Rights Act, the right to liberty. It's a breach of that. It's a breach of Article 6, the right to a fair hearing. You see, this is what I'm talking about. When you arrest me, you want to talk law. Let's talk about law then. Okay? So this woman says, no, she's not a woman. This little girl says, I thought at the time that he was speaking rubbish to me and had no idea what he was trying to relate to me. Okay. Huh. It's ridiculous. Okay. So this custody sergeant has been in the force since a very long time anyway. She's never heard of Magna Carta in her life or the common law. And I'm supposed to have a discussion with her. So at this point I'm saying I can't talk to you anymore because it's obvious you don't know what you're doing behind the desk. I know you have a school uniform on and those computers look nice. And you must feel happy tapping into them and asking people questions and feeling superior and authoritative. And you're the boss. But surely, if you're going to enforce the law, you must know something about it, or its origins, or where you derive your power from, and when you... Okay. Right. The claimant was then asked a series of questions from me. I don't know what kind of grammar that is, but anyway, this is what she wrote. The claimant was then asked a series of questions from me as part of the risk assessment. As I have noted on page 20, he refused to answer any of my questions. Of course, I'm not going to answer any of your questions because, number one, you have failed to prove that the arrest is lawful, number one. Number two, you have failed to identify whether or not you're acting under oath or you're acting for your own personal interest. Number three, you've said to me that the Magna Carta and the common law of the land known as England and Wales is rubbish. So guess what? I have nothing else to say to you. What do you expect me to say to you from then on? Okay? And then they go again with this rubbish. Because they're always pushing it. They have noted from previous records that there are markers. What are markers? For depression and self-harm by banging his head on the cell walls. I have therefore marked this on the custody record and compiled a care plan to ensure his welfare while he's detained. So this is the same... it's like a cut and paste that the solicitors use. Yeah. So they put me in again for this 30-minute observation because I'm a high-level risk, simply because I'm asking them whether or not they are acting within their powers. You become a high-level risk and they have to come and bug you every 30 minutes to piss you off. I don't give a shit if you put me in solitary confinement as long as you leave me the fuck alone. You don't need to check on me every 30 minutes to make sure my welfare is good. If you care about my welfare, leave me in my flat. Don't come and bother me. Right, here's this. Oh, we're going to get to you, Mrs. Whoever you are. Now, while I'm being observed every half hour, there's a solicitor in there pretending to be a solicitor. They always get a solicitor involved because they are in together. We're going to get to the solicitors at their own time because we have so many of these statements to go through. It's just going to be so hilarious. So we're going to go through it briefly today, but we're going to go into it in full. Make a documentary out of just each one of these statements, but we have enough to have a pretty good laugh at these idiots who are running around talking about the law enforcers and they have no idea what the law is. So this one here we're going to get to you, Miss Banerjee, right? The claimant has spoken to his solicitor. When? You liar. I have then spoken to Miss Banerjee at approximately 15. So she's spoken to, okay, 4 minutes. So the claimant spoke to his solicitors for 4 minutes, 1,200 hours. Oh wow, this is interesting. But anyway, so then we, so at 12:50 hours, the claimant, what's the other time? 12:45. I've not refused to answer questions. Oh, this is not post. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go. The timeline doesn't seem right here for some reason, because 12:45 he's refusing to answer any questions, but 5 minutes before that he was speaking to his solicitor, and then at the same time the solicitor is speaking to this woman, because he says right here, I've spoken with Miss Banerjee approximately 12:54, which is the same time as this. Okay, when she has raised concerns as to the mental health again, I've considered this also due to my intense interaction with the claimant. So now this guy is mentally unhealthy, and he because he's asking questions, and and he's not putting up with your BS, because he knows what the law is. Okay, right, here carry on. So the solicitor, this mysterious solicitor who's had 4 minutes conversation with his client, hopefully, has determined that the client is mentally ill and has gone back to this the surgeon. And now they're going to make an action plan. Here we go. I have considered this also due to my interaction with the claimant. In my experience, those who speak what I would call intelligent garbage may have underlying mental health issues. I have therefore called Circle for a nurse to attend and examine the claimant. Right. So for anyone out there who did not know the extent of the corruption of this policy enforcers, this is how deep it goes. All right? So if you go up there and you speak about the Magna Carta, it's an intellectual garbage, and it's an underlying underlying mental health issue. So we urge you, ladies and gentlemen, never ever in your life, if you ever have a legal matter to deal with, should you ever raise issues of law. According to, what's her name again? This one here. Yeah. All right. Okay. So she's very smart. She's been in the force since the 90s, and she's here we go. She's therefore called Circle for a nurse to attend and examine the claimant. The nurse came, and the nurse was told where to go with the BS. All right. The claimant will have been taken to a cell, and I will have remained in the custody suite during his detention, although I haven't read, what's all this? I haven't marked the rest, so I don't know. I'm just going to go to what I marked, and then we'll go back and do the whole document at some point. Now, my final entry here, this doesn't make any sense, but it might make sense to anybody out there. So if there's any solicitor or lawyers out there, please try and explain this one to us. We want to know. My final entry on the custody, blah, 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 when I noted on the, fuck, blah, 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 blah. Right, now, this is critical. When I have noted on the custody record that the fact that the matter being dealt with is not an offense, right? And that the only disposal available will be to rebail. I have recorded this to ensure that this is flagged properly on the record. Court bail has a power to keep for court, and therefore I have not wanted any of my colleagues to miss the fact this is police bail and no such detention power exists. Right, so the police decided that they're going to create a bail by themselves. Normally the court is the one that issues bail, if anything. So the police decide, oh fine, they're going to put a living man on bail just by themselves. It's bullshit. They have no detention powers. They have no such powers. So I was trying to explain to her earlier that you have no powers to detain me. She thought I was being argumentative. I'm not being argumentative, you idiot. I'm trying to explain to you, you don't know what the F you're doing, and you need to get out of there. And let somebody who knows what they're doing stand there in your stead. Right. I'm sure that the sergeant Ramsbottom bailed the claimant. He was unaware of the legal powers, but this was there as a fail-safe if for any reason he had not spotted it. That's a whole lot of horse manure. Alright? Point is, you have no power to arrest people and detain them just like that, just because you feel like it, and you have to make money. Are you kidding me? Are you out of your effing mind? You stupid little girl. So this is it here. That's a sign. And the critical, I found this one when I was searching some stuff. Here. Now this is, what is this? Now, I know this Chapman woman doesn't know things like this because these people don't operate by any law. These people are clowns and they're actors. So they should not be pretending. So when I talk to you about the Magna Carta and you say to me it's rubbish, and I'm talking intellectual garbage, and for the fact that I'm speaking this stuff, you're going to talk about mental health that is an indication of, what did you call it, you stupid little girl? What did she call it? Here, intellectual garbage may have underlying mental health issues. Who's got mental health issues? When you go to the doors of the Supreme Court in the United Kingdom, and engraved with a facsimile of the Magna Carta, signed by King John of Runnymede in 1215. One of its two most important clauses has been picked out. It says, to no man shall we sell or deny or delay right or justice. Article 40. Now, I know this stupid little girl never heard of the Supreme Court. But the Supreme Court is the court of the land. That's the superior court of the land. So that you, in your stupid magician's court, which is the lowest court of the land, you have to take what the Supreme Court say seriously. That's precedent. You don't know what I'm talking about. But if you go and ask your mother, she might know these things. Okay? So Magna Carta, or the common law of the land, known as England and Wales, is not intellectual garbage. And you, as a policy enforcer, you should know the basics, the rudiments of law. So I don't have to come and teach you these things, you see, because I have other things to do. Right? So the matter being dealt with is not an offense. And that the only disposal available will be to rebel. Why would you rebel if it's not an offense? You discharge the charge, whatever it is. You don't rebel. It's not an offense. Second of all, this is police bail, and no such detention power exists. So what the hell was I doing in your cell, being checked on for mental health reasons because of the Magna Carta and the common law every 30 minutes? You stupid little girl. What's wrong with you? So, Jiggy. Anyway, I need to get off these people. Just wind me up. Because, I mean, how do you get through to an idiot? How do you get through to an idiot and explain to them you're claiming to be a brain surgeon and you're looking for someone's brain in their armpit and you want to argue about it? And I'm saying to you, he's not there. Intellectual garbage, my ass. Gatekeeper. Right, issues again. Right? My role is concerned for the lawful detention and the welfare of prisoners. Number one, I won't get into syntaxing, but it's all this garbage. This is nonsense. This sentence just syntaxing. This is not even English. This is bullshit. But it's legalese. So we're going to carry on and pretend that we don't know. We can see this nonsense. Right. So her role is for the lawful detention and the welfare of prisoners. So it's lawful detention is number one. Right? So you're acting according to the law. If you don't know what the law is, how can you enforce a lawful detention, you fool? The custody sergeant acts as a gatekeeper, right? A gatekeeper, independent of the criminal investigation. Now, you know very well that this, whatever, the instant matter is not an offense, as you put it, and you have no powers to detain. Why did you detain? Why did you? Okay, to ensure that the prisoner's rights are upheld and maintained. One of the prisoner's rights, okay, is a right to liberty. Article 5 of your statutes, the Human Rights Act, right? You cannot detain me unlawfully. You just did, because you don't know what you're doing, right? My decision, the decision on detention is mine. Okay, we're coming after you then. You decide, you wrote it down. Fool. What an idiot. Okay, we listen to pleas or representation by a suspect, a solicitor, or another officer, and will act accordingly if I feel these representations are valid. Right. Now, if somebody says to you, oh, I won't get into that one. I believe, okay, it's my opinion, okay, that the representation with somebody who is living on the land known as England and Wales, if your representations are to do with the common law of the land known as England and Wales, then somebody who's concerned with the lawful detention of you should take these representations into consideration. That's all. That's what we're asking. Why don't you consider that? Instead of getting emotional and jumping up and down behind your desk and acting like a little kid, why don't you go and ask your sergeant if he's ever heard in his lifetime? Maybe he has, you see. Why not your sergeant? Because you're the sergeant. This is the sergeant, so there's got to be somebody above this one. So this is the sergeant. Right. So if you're the sergeant, there must be a superior. Why don't you go and ask your superior and say, excuse me, Mr. Superior or Mrs. Superior, woman or man? Okay? Have you ever heard, because there's a clown downstairs, there's this clown downstairs who's talking all this intellectual garbage called the common law, the Magna Carta. Now, excuse me, Mr. My Superior, have you ever heard of anything like this in your life? And if you have, what should I do with him? Oh boy. I love it. It's crazy. But it's so sweet exposing these folds. I have to get off this thing. I thought I'd stay on this statement forever. I just crack it. I picked up 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. When we have more time, we'll go into, what's her name again? We'll go into Chapman's ass even more. So I'm going to let you off right now, Chapman, because you have no chance. You see, shooting fish in a barrel, you have no chance. You have broken the law. You have broken the law and you're the law enforcer. And you don't know what the law is. You see, it's not even professional negligence. It's I don't know what you call it. Gross stupidity. Imbecility. I call it lunacy. You're talking about mental health issues. I think you've got some serious mental health issues, man. If you're going around, anyway, this is the hick flipping statement I was talking about. I have a few more. We're just warming up. When you have a proper setup, then we will do the whole statement, and we'll syntax it as well. Okay, so stick it to black, still too black in it. You don't like it, you know what to do.